a Wonder podcast about films.
Yeah, you've mentioned it once or twice.
Yeah, films we've seen together, though.
Ooh, a special episode.
Yeah, a quick-fire, off-the-cuff, immediate reaction to films we've just seen.
A tight 90 minutes then.
Exactly.
But we don't watch films together.
We'll have to go to the cinema then.
Are you asking me out?
Date night special, baby.
Fine, but it's your turn to go on top.
Hello and welcome to the second of our Movie the Needle date night episodes, where two amateurs haphazardly dissect a movie that we've been to see at the cinema together. I'm Simon, and I'm in our shed with my part-time boyfriend, full-time pervert Carl, as we talk through our reflections on our recent trip to a local movie theatre. This week, we cover an erotic thriller. Nope, not Emmanuel. Nope, not Emmanuel 2. Not even Emmanuel in Space. It's a 2025 movie starring Nicole Kidman, Antonio Banderas, and Harris Dickinson. No, I don't know either. Sauciness and sources of milk ensue. It's Babygirl.
Well, I am that.
Pervert.
You decide which.
Yeah. I mean, I overlooked the pervert because I apparently had a stroke every time I tried to say local movie theatre. Took a few turns, that one, didn't it?
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
anyhow.
Overlooked it? What do you mean overlooked it?
I forgot that I'd said pervert because I was so focused on saying local movie theatre.
Yeah, no. It's out there now.
Yeah, I don't overlook you being a pervert, don't worry.
No, fair enough.
It's always right there in my face.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Carl, remember, this is streamlined, efficient, breezy.
Yeah, this is snappy.
Yeah. Another relatively recent title that we attended holding hands and wearing trench coats.
Yes. I think we made reference on the regular pod to
We did.
what perverts we felt like in a cinema of mostly couples of females.
Yes.
And three single gents who looked the part, let's say. Didn't they? And then just that one gay couple. I assume that's how we looked. To everyone else.
Yeah. I was like, there was another one. Oh, right.
Yeah.
But yes, we're still going to go cover the same old sections: cast, production, plot, any changes, plus a little mini data section. And most importantly, there will be beer, Carl.
There will be beer. Yeah. Don't you worry about that. Quick catch up. I've been involved in some neighbourhood activism.
Neighbourhood activism?
Yeah.
Wow. Have you
remember
lynched someone?
Do you remember me complaining to you about my bins, my recycling bins?
That they had not been collected, yes.
Yeah, I'm still on the silly old tubs instead of the
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
instead of the proper wheelie bin thing.
Yeah.
And as you pointed out, like, everybody else in
Literally
Harrogate
everyone.
is on the wheelie bin now. Well, I only bloody emailed the council.
Oh. Did you get a reply?
Yeah.
And?
They fobbed me off.
Oh, then, yeah.
They just went, look, unless it's you specifically, like your next door neighbours have got them, we'll get to you. Don't worry about it. Right. You've not been missed. Mm-hmm. It's just, you're on a schedule. You'll get a letter when it's going to happen.
Oh, a letter.
That was last week.
Seems unnecessary.
Guess what dropped through the letterbox today?
Was it a letter?
It was a letter.
Oh, so they've basically gone, shit.
Yeah,
Shit.
exactly.
Have you done this road? No.
The shysters couldn't face up to it though, could they? So they just fob him off and then fucking quick get the bins out, sharpish.
Oh, look at that. They'll just say it's a coincidence, though, won't they?
Well, anyway, so there we go. Email your MP, folks. Who knows what might happen?
Yeah. You didn't email the MP.
No.
He's got better things to do.
Yeah.
He's got babies.
I've emailed my MP before. He definitely fucking fobbed me off.
Yeah, got babies to kiss, probably, haven't he?
Yeah.
So, Carl, without further ado, unveil the date night ale.
Yeah. So, I have got. I mean, there was only one way to play this. I've got a Mackeson's milk stout.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm going to pour a little bit of this milk stout into a saucer.
Yeah.
Place it down by my feet, and then why don't you crawl over here and lick it up like a good girl?
You know I will.
Imagine if anyone's not seen the film. They're just going to think, what
yeah,
the
good point.
fuck are they up to now?
Well, I would say go see the film, but maybe by the end of this you're going to say, no, I'm not going to bother. Anyway, let's spoilers. I mean, let's actually say what our initial impressions were. So, Carl, single liner, take home message for you. Go.
I had no idea what to expect from this, but I ultimately found it very dull and honestly not particularly erotic either.
Yeah, similar to mine. So, a good first half that becomes less interesting as time goes on. No, not my sex life. Only a little erotic and not very thrilling. No, still not my sex life. All right, let's get to the cast then. So this is headed up by Nicole Kidman.
Kidders?
Ageless. Ageless?
Yeah,
Wait,
if you
is
like.
that a thing? Yeah. I don't know how much of that's Botox, but let's not get carried away with it. Yeah. I thought she was all right in this.
There was a bit of Botox in the film as well, wasn't there?
There was actually, to be fair. Yeah. So maybe she went method.
Yeah, she was fine. I mean, it would be remiss not to call out her grunts.
So, are you talking about the fake sex grunts or the guttural, wild?
Well,
real
I mean,
ones?
Honestly, because spoiler alert, opens up with them having sex, where she's faking an orgasm. I was pretty turned on by those grunts too, so it'd have worked with me.
Yep.
And then she goes off and has a real orgasm, and it's even better. But they were sexy. Yeah.
I think through the sort of dramatic bits that she's had to do in terms of when she's not just riding someone, she's pretty good. You can kind of believe her as a CEO of a kind of techie company thing. She kind of comes across as believable from that perspective.
Yeah.
A kind of powerful businesswoman mother type who's still got a family life kind of lined up, and I don't know.
I don't know. It's difficult, right? Is she the best thing about this film? She might be the best thing about this film.
I think she might be.
I did prefer Banderas' performance, but then he's got a lot less to do in the film.
Yeah, Banderas has got to go from loving, smooth husband, successful man, to slightly angry husband, to forgiven husband.
Yeah, but he's just not in it very much.
No.
Not really. But again, from Antonio, good gasps and moans.
Yeah.
I'd shag him.
Yeah. Well, he's probably done the porn version of Puss in Boots, hasn't he? He's probably used to it.
Yeah, probably.
Don't know what you'd call that, though. What about Harris Dickinson?
Yeah, you don't know who he is, but I recognised him from Triangle of Sadness, a film that you continue to forget.
I have seen it. Yeah. Definitely seen it.
And he was vapid in that, and he ain't much better here, I didn't think. At
first, he was I kind of found him quite interesting, in that he's playing a young, fairly green office worker type, but who's kind of a little bit mysterious. He's got a little bit of something about him that's kind of alluring to women and people generally, and dogs apparently.
Is that when you look at his face, you can't quite tell if he's good looking or not?
Yeah, he's kind of one of those, I guess.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? And it's like, there's nothing objectionable about your face. What is it?
Yeah, and it's not like he's got a body to die for. He's pretty straight up and down, isn't he?
Why do you just look dead behind the eyes? What's going on here?
I did say off air, I was just like, shit name for an actor. Harris Dickinson. But I was like, actually quite appropriate for erotic thriller. Harry, get your Dickinson. No. But yeah, I thought his performance generally, it wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong. Like, he was perfectly fine in what he had to do. I think the way he was playing the part it wasn't like a smooth, controlling role. It was kind of someone who was making it up as they went along a little bit as well.
Yeah, I've got a production note on that.
So it might have been more effective if he was, but
we'll come back to that. I think. Yeah.
I'm
not sure. Like, I'm with you. This is only the second thing I've seen him in. Of course, I remember the first one, but I mean, I've also seen him in a couple of interviews. He's been doing the podcast circuit a bit.
Yeah,
and again, he's a bit
not been on ours, bastard.
Yeah, well, he won't do after what I'm about to say. He is a bit. There's just not a lot. There's not a lot of charisma there. I don't think. But he's young. Let's see how he grows into roles and all the rest of it. So.
All right. Anyone else you want to call out?
And what do I know? Let's just never miss an opportunity to get that out there. No, I don't want to call anyone else out.
No, I can't actually name you another person that was in it. That
I think a lot more
very supporting family things and fair enough. Okay, let's move on to production. So this is written and directed by Helena Rain. Maybe
not familiar.
No, not familiar. I looked at her previous films, not familiar with those either. But from the direction, not that we know what that actually involves, but let's just say how it looks. I thought it looked fairly good.
I mean,
but
not to dredge up other conversations. I think direction is definitely not to do with how it looks.
No, I know. Fuck it, I know.
No, not just anyway.
No. But in terms of how it looks, I thought it looked fine.
I thought, well, yeah, fine. I thought it was very unremarkable in terms of how it looked. Which is not criticism, but I think it was probably quite low budget. And
Well, 20 million.
That's pretty low budget, yeah. It was fairly unambitious with its settings. Mm-hmm. It's not like we moved from many
Hotel
environments
rooms.
to very few environments, and stuff like that. So sort of unremarkable, but it was quite shot nicely. Quite shot nicely? The hell does that mean?
Yeah.
I'm saying all the right words, not necessarily in the right order. It was shot quite nicely with like some of the sex scenes and stuff. Because, there was some nudity in it, and not to dredge up our ill-fated gratuitous nudity section. But
It was largely tastefully done.
it was, yeah. But, obviously still getting the point across, which is
That's what you need to do.
that's what you need to do. So, yeah, I thought that was all right.
Yeah. In terms of the dialogue and script-wise, I didn't notice that it was particularly sharp, or it wasn't like a tightly written script with the lines that would be particularly memorable or anything along those lines. I mean, you get the lines such as like "good girl" just as you're going out, just as he's walking out the bar, but there's not a back and forth dialogue as such. It's very much written in that natural way where they're kind of it's two people not really knowing how to take control or what to do, so it's kind of intentionally disjointed. So it's effective in that way, but there's not much to comment on in terms of was it a tight script? Was it well written? It wasn't exactly full of zingers or anything like that, which you wouldn't necessarily expect.
To be fair, we should probably give it some credit there, because it would have been very easy for this to become cheesy.
Well, 50 Shades of Grey, right?
I haven't seen it.
No, neither have I. But you get the gist of that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I don't remember a load of memorable lines either, but I also don't remember it jumping out at me.
There were no
It was particularly
clunkers, right?
cheesy.
Yeah, exactly. There was none like, oh, they said it.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's probably fair.
Music wise, gave me a bit of a Challengers feel. Have you seen Challengers?
No.
Yeah. So not quite as effective as Challengers, but the sort of very I don't know, electronics maybe not quite the right word, but
there was some of that. Yeah, too loud as well.
That sort of thing. Yeah, but you don't know how much of that's just our crappy cinema as well. Getting the mix all wrong. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. Although I don't think they control the mix, just the level.
Oh, whatever. I don't know. Stop making me sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. I do that well enough myself.
I don't know either. I'm just saying it with my chest.
Did you like the music?
I have mixed opinions on the sound. Mm-hmm. I didn't like the music per se when it sort of used songs.
Oh, yeah, it did do that, didn't it? Yeah.
I didn't like it, and I did find some of the soundtrack too loud. But there were other bits of the soundtrack where it was very sort of vibesy. There were some quite paranoid moments, and I liked that. I thought that was good. I thought that captured a good mood. But then other bits of it were really jarring.
Yeah, there was one particular song, and I'm struggling to remember what it's called, but I know Paloma Faith has covered it. I can't remember what it's called, but it was, at the time, I was like, oh, it's that song. But I was like, why are they playing that song now? Because that was at a time where it had been very much the one style of music, and then to just play a pop song, essentially, over the scenes, it didn't really make sense.
Yeah, so I certainly like the more paranoid vibes of it, but then, yeah, jarring. The rest of it, unfortunately.
Any other comments on the old production?
No, honestly, my headline for the production is unremarkable, and I mean that completely neutrally.
Yes. Well, as we said, there's nothing that sticks out as like terrible or awfully done. It's a competently made film that looks good enough. It sounds good enough, but it's not doing anything particularly special, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you could talk about the pacing here. I mean, you can put it in plot as well. It was just to touch on it, I thought it was very, very. I mean, you sort of said you enjoyed the first bits and then didn't enjoy the last bit, and maybe this is a different thing, but I was kind of the other way in so much as I thought it was quite slow and drawn out for the first two acts, and then it really rushes the third act. So from not to get into the sort of the beats of the plot, but pacing wise, I was like, this is strange. It's like I can't remember how long it was. I don't think it was overly long.
No,
but it was like it had kind of had enough, and then just ran and ultimately fell over the finish line. After being quite slow and drawn out for a while, I thought.
Yeah, I think it felt longer than maybe it was because of that slower part, and then the mad rush to the end. For sure. Just on some of the songs, are just looking as to refresh my memory of some of the pop songs that were in there. So Dancing on My Own by Robin was one of them. And then I think the other one was Never Tear Us Apart as well, which was In Excess, which I think is the one I was thinking about that's covered by Blaming Faith. And there's also Father Figure by George Michael, which is a little bit on the nose.
I wonder which bit that was playing over.
Yeah. But there we go.
Come and get your milk.
Okay, let's go to the plot. So I think I already said this in production, but I quite like the setup of it and the start. I thought, oh, okay, this is interesting. It's maybe setting something up here. It comes when it starts where there is a bit of tension where her two lives kind of cross each other, where he's in the same room as the husband, and you're kind of wondering what's going on, and they're potentially maybe found out, and it's a bit risky, and there's a little bit of tension there, and you wonder where it'll go, and then it almost doesn't really go anywhere, kind of just fizzles out a little bit. I don't think there's a lot of tension. There's a little bit of tension.
Yeah,
I would say. I was definitely there going like, oh, I mean the two women behind us literally gasped at one point, like audibly.
Hang on, which point? Because it has very different implications as to when
it was at the bit where the husband does find out. He's just revealed in the doorway as a shadow. He's almost like, oh no, he didn't. Didn't quite say that, but
I don't know. I never felt the sort of jeopardy really, because the other thing as well is they're both successful. Right, they've both got their own...
The husband and wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both got their own careers. The kids are grown, or nearly. Like very, very nearly.
Older teenagers.
Yeah. Right? And so there's not, like, what at stake what there might have been.
Well, I guess the biggest risk, in theory, is her losing the job in the company, right? If she gets found out.
Yeah, so I did read a little bit about this, right? The reason they set it in the US was because apparently the hierarchy, the corporate hierarchy there is much firmer in regards to like relationships.
Right.
Which was lost on me at the time. So, and I think that's part of the reason why I'm...
As in they are not allowed, is that the...
Yeah, like I think they really, really... So when you say like that, well, there's jeopardy because she might have lost a job. Yeah, maybe that is the case.
Yeah, but that definitely came across.
That didn't. I don't think it did. You see, when I was watching it, I was just like, well, I mean, yeah, but
it kind of lost some of that because he was the Harris Dickinson character was clearly saying and that he's not in this to ruin her or anything like that. And I think you had a thing of like suspecting, was it all going to be revealed as a setup, right?
Yeah. Well,
and I'm kind of glad it wasn't, because I think that would have been a bit cheap and
well, here's the thing, right? Let's talk about the description of this film: an erotic thriller, right? I've already said in my own thing, not thrilling. I think we both said when we came out of the cinema, that's not a thriller.
Yeah,
and it did threaten to become one at that point.
Yes.
So at the start of the third act, it looks like, because there's a character that sits down to have a meeting with her, and it looks like some of her journey to this point has been preordained. And you think, okay, finally it's going to become a thriller. Now, whatever you think about that and what that might have done, that was its chance to become what it advertised itself to be, And then it turns out, which we find out in that very same scene, that's just someone being an opportunistic cunt.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, right, so there really isn't anything going on here from a thriller point of view.
I enjoyed the opportunistic element of that, but under the guise of going, but I don't want to ruin you because you're a strong, powerful woman who's going to be, can do such powerful things.
But we don't care about that character. This is like, no, he's not doing a good enough job. And it's the same with the very, very end bit where another man, well, not another man because that was a woman, a man in the workplace tries to say to her...
That was really clumsy, I thought.
Like, really weird, just suddenly out of nowhere, oh, I've heard things, eh? And she was just like, yeah, fuck off, mate.
Yeah.
I'm not having it.
It seemed really clumsily done. Like there wasn't a callback to anything.
No.
Seemingly that it just kind of showed that she didn't put up with any shit or something.
And again, like in terms of Jeopardy, introducing tension, introducing that sort of thrilling element, why would that thrill? Because we don't know who that guy is, what his motivation. We don't care about his motivations. And then she just, as soon as it's come on, she just brushes it off. So it's like, yeah, it's not. So from a thriller point of view, it just does not deliver. I don't think.
Yeah, I think it's getting a lot of credit for not following a traditional erotic or thriller
that's fine.
path, right?
That's absolutely fine. What are you doing instead?
Yeah, exactly. And I think, I've spoken to one or two people that have seen this, one of who is female, and she really got it and really enjoyed it, went to see it with her husband who really did not get it or really enjoy it too much. It's a friend of the pod, Kira, I'm talking about, who the provider of lots of questions for our mailbag episode.
Most of them good as well.
Yes. And I guess the other thing here as well is, I think I called this out in the little mini review of when films we watched in the regular episode, but I read a review that called it raucously funny.
Yes.
And I honestly can't understand it because I genuinely can't even think of a time that was meant to be, that there was any setup for any kind of humour, even in a ridiculousness. It's just, oh my God, this situation is hilarious because it's just so out there. And
there was one or two lines that I could think of where, and then one of them was where she was sort of telling him off for something, and he just sort of said, your husband's literally through there, or you're literally cheating on your husband, or something like that, to sort of say,
pointing
don't
out
lecture me, yeah. And I think that was supposed to get a laugh. It fell flat in the cinema we were in. I don't know.
I didn't hear any laughs in the cinema. It wasn't exactly packed out, but
no, not even so much as a titter. So, yeah, like in terms of what it's about, it's not a thriller. I get, it's not trying to be conventional thriller. That's great. What else is it? Let's just home in on the erotic thing. I didn't believe their dynamic, Romy and Samuel. So whilst I applaud the decision to not have Samuel as the cliched, sort of suave, completely in control older gent, right? That's good that we didn't do that. What we got instead is we just got this obnoxiously awkward man-child with the personality of a cardboard box. Right? I didn't buy it at all. So you get all those scenes, which are the sort of bulk of the plot, because there really isn't a lot of plot besides those encounters that they're having.
Yep. You
get those scenes, and it's just like, I'm not finding it particularly erotic because I'm just like, well, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. Like, it's not really advancing anything because, like I say, it's not really plot per se. And I'm just like, I don't know what's going on here. So then the only thing I'm left with, which is where, like, are other people getting something out of this? I'm not. It's this exploration of her sexuality and how that fits into her life in terms of, like, she's prioritized career and family first, and she's suppressed all this. They hint at, very, very underwritten and very underdone, they hint at a suppressed childhood. I think she was, like, raised in a nunnery or something like that.
Yeah. That's just like almost like a little bit of backstory done as part of the internship. Or something like
It's really poor. They sort of hint at that. And then...
Well, then that's meant to lead into why she is how she is and how she can get off, how she gets off.
So, like, maybe that's the main story. Maybe that's not taking it. But I thought that was poorly done too as well, because, like I say, weak setup, and then how that plays into her husband's dynamic. And the third act, again, I come back to how does all this resolve? If that's your story, he just completely, like, turns around.
Yeah.
Like
he goes from, I feel like a villain when she's asking him to do just very, very mild anything, right?
Yeah. Exactly, it's very mild as well.
To very hurt husband, how could you possibly do this? You've ruined everything. To then the next time we see him just going like, I'm into the kink as well now.
And she treats me like shit as well. So for all the shame she supposedly has, they get caught. He has his breakdown and a panic attack. she immediately cheats on him again. Immediately. She goes out to the pool and they cheat again after he's sort of left, stormed off, whatever. And it's like, oh, right, okay, so you were really, really scared about getting caught, and now suddenly you're just going, fuck it.
Yeah.
I was really ashamed. I was really scared about it, but fuck it. And then it's, a couple of scenes later after they've resolved some shit with the work, where he's just, like you say, he's had this complete turnaround. He's like, yeah, don't worry. And it's all that relationship side of it and her development, all very weak, I thought.
Yeah, and I think there's an angle here that this whole story is her discovering herself and being able to be her natural self and not putting on a mask to be successful and to be accepted in her family and with her husband, right? So I guess it's from a liberation point of view. There is that angle there. I don't think I necessarily got that when I was watching it.
No. Well, anyway, like you say, some people can relate to it. That's fine, but not as advertised.
Good on them. Okay, any changes? So up to 3 changes from each of us. Carl, how many do you have?
2.5.
Okay, I've got a solid 1.0.
Ah, good.
Okay, so what's your half or 1.5, depending on how you're doing this?
Well, my changes are basically the inverse of everything I've just said in plot, right? The half is because whatever you're going to do with the elements of the plot, I think you'd need a more convincing antagonist. And I didn't think Harris Dickinson was up to it. Or
would you call him an antagonist even?
I don't think he's not really antagonising enough, is it? I don't think what he was given to do was the ticket. If you want to be kinder to the actor, which is fair enough because I don't know. So that's me half.
Oh, that's your half. Okay, right. Yeah. Why is it half?
Because I think it applies across the board. The 2 changes I actually want to make.
Okay.
It needs more thriller.
Yes,
it needs
that's
more thrills.
my one
If that's what you want it to be, it needs more thrills. You've got to jack that tension up somehow. You've got to have, honestly, something happen.
Got to be some stakes, and there's got to be there's something leading to it.
Happen.
Yes, or at least nearly happen. Or whatever.
Well, right, yeah. Some say that's better than it actually happening.
Sting,
huh?
Like Sting. He loves that.
Yeah, he does love a bit of that, doesn't he? Have you heard that joke about how long
you told it on
sex?
The pod? I'm sure we've done this.
Yeah. Imagine how long you could go if Trudy was a looker.
Yes.
Yeah? It's not a very nice joke, but it's out there, isn't it?
I feel like
it's not my joke.
I feel like you've said it before.
I want to make that clear. Yes. My second change, if it is more about this relationship side of things, I mean, you don't have to give it more backstory to develop her character. I think that might work. But I think you really need to spend more time on the third act, and that just needs to be better across the board because it's really clumsy, I think, that third act, the whole turnaround thing, and how everything comes to a head.
Alrighty. Okay, let's finish things off with the data section. So on the old IMDb, it's a 6.2, Letterboxd the 3.0, so pretty closely correlated. The critics obviously lapped it up like a saucer of milk, 79. Me, 2.
I'm very close to you, a 1.5.
Yeah. I think I just enjoyed the first bit a bit more than you did, maybe, and that was maybe what carried it over. I think we have fairly similar opinions on the second part or half or third or whatever we want to do. No Oscar nominations whatsoever. Did get a Golden Globes actress for a drama nominee, but no love for it at the Oscars, which I was a little bit surprised. I thought we might have got something for Nicole Kidman at least, but not necessarily because she deserved it, but it just seemed like one that they might reward.
I have to say, I don't think it's a particularly strong year either. So
no, I mean they've got Demi Moore in there instead, right? So
oh Christ Almighty!
What about some rewatchability, Carl? Is it rewatchable for you?
No, I think it's too boring.
I think no, unless I get lonely. Any scenes or quotes that you want to call out in particular?
I mean, for similar reasons, I think not. Yeah.
There wasn't anything that necessarily stood out, I think, and this one's in the trailer, so it's a little bit like I knew it was coming anyway, which is the glass of milk in the busy bar, right, where she just gives that look, and he gives a little nod. She downs the milk, and then on the way out, he just sort of goes, "Good girl." which is a good thing. But I'd seen it in the trailer at least 3 times, so it kind of lost its impact.
It's on repeat, yeah.
Yeah. Did you have a favourite character in particular?
Well, it would be Jacob Antonio.
Yeah. I mean, not particularly a favourite, but yeah. I guess
He just seemed like a nice chap, didn't he?
His plays look shit.
His plays did look shit, actually.
Yeah. Looked like exactly the kind of play that I would not go to see. Self-important wank. Cool. Okay, so...
Are you talking about that trailer again? Yeah.
Well, I didn't have a self-important wank. I'm just saying it was a description of the play. Anyway, Carl, you got anything else?
No.
Okay, then that's all we've got. So just a reminder, our Bluesky, Instagram and Twitter is MTN Movie Pod. YouTube channel is at Movie the Needle. Please do follow, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And wherever you are listening, please do subscribe and give us a rating on that platform, preferably 5 stars. So for me and Carl, it's goodbye.
Oh, preferably. If it's not 5 stars, don't bother.
I don't know. It's just nice to get ratings, full stop.
You're now at the point of seeking any validation,
any engagement,
just through the form of recognition that you exist.
Exactly.
Is enough validation for you at this point.
Indeed. So for me and Carl, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.
We'll be back with another date night next time. I am feeling even more lonely and I have nothing else to do with my life. Goodbye.